Antifa and my neighbor next door who uses a voice to cause terror, fear, saying I'm going to be evicted today, yesterday, the next week, who's never introduced themselves, who's never compassionately said they've got problems. And I'm not one of them, but to please be patient with their hitting of an object shared between two studios and apartments. And Antifa and now Black Lives Matter collaborating. They've declared that ethnicity and race are important in black and white and Ethiopian and all of the other descriptions they provide about a skin color they identify with their eyes and words they hear with their ears to have their minds more prepared to save those in need, to stop evictions and take up armed conflict, to carry black bats and shields, dressed in military gear they say the police should not have, yelling, no more fascism, except when a person doesn't say what they want in a poem or a song, and then they attack and they assault and they harass and they most often bully. A mystery gives my neighbor a task in the day to prepare her for night when she doesn't sleep and she hallucinates, banging walls, being the kind of change for rest she wishes to see in the world. They, them, they, it wants those to have in their nightmares and their unawareness. These examples no, there's an answer to the question and the mystery that they want solved now. Racism and any sound, any noise, any voice out loud, and any thinking in a brain when they are talking and they are whispering to attempt infiltration of thoughts and cognition for distraction and confusion and misdirection, for hallucination they believe consciousness has to do with now. Stimulation. Seeing visionary images and videos in brains. Fractals in sacred geometry. And Black Lives Matter and Antifa saying racism needs to end now. However, with no other explanation and solution to the problem other than more indoctrination, more of the conditioning they say needs to stop, more of the theory and the philosophy in a system with processes they use against their victims, their targets, who are those learners they're teaching about cognitive dissonance, a part of psychology used by racists and slave owners in the past and now. They know there's a problem, and they're spending their time in books with language and letters and sentences, with more systems and processes in place for restriction and limit and control and mind and self, ego, and some behavior observed by an elder, a dominant warrior soldier. And ignoring a problem with a brain they don't learn about, other than building a mind stronger than the oppressor they say has racism in their government and racism in their systems. In other words, replacing more systems with other systems named a philosophy or a theory, an ideology of Marxism and communism and socialism and psychics and visionary thinkers and thought, knowing, whisperers and talkers, bangers and booms, makers. Drawing graffiti, handing out t-shirts and hats and stickers and flyers and organizing communities and preparing for war, training for death and dying, with medics and chaplains who are neutral and not spiritually and religiously affiliated, taking arms, building kitchens to support their army. They say to protect and keep those they describe with a skin color, they say with a race and an ethnicity in their dialect. They are going to make free and not be stuck in a racist freedom, they say. Owns slaves and abuses and hurts their ears and makes their eyes not say their consciousness bright enough as those colors in their culture, and not illuminated enough as a reward with some psychedelic drugs to see those aliens and UFOs in their spaceships and with their big old faces. In the name of not being bored and distracted with the task of Legos. A bourgeois mug with a substance other than what's approved by their committees and comrades in their basements and their $1,000 apartments, renting a closet where they sleep and do their work on their internet and technology devices. Now, the end.